Hi, everyone, and welcome to our final session for this year's Back to School Bootcamp. We are so glad that you could join us for this session, and hopefully, you've joined us for at least two more so that you can apply for the scholarship contest that we're doing. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. But we've so valued having you here today. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. Hopefully, you've learned about a cool new tool or resource and approach to teaching personal finance that will be interesting and useful for you this school year. You've got Putting on Your Mask First, Banzai's financial wellness tools for teachers. Just quickly, if you have any audio issues, check your Bluetooth connection. We always get a question or two about that. Sometimes it's connected to your headphones. If you have questions, go ahead and please use the chat. Not the Q&A, but if you put in the Q&A, we'll find it still. And then go ahead and follow us on social media. And let us know where you're joining from as well. It's so fun to see where all the teachers are at. This is the closing keynote, 3 o'clock. If you missed any of these previous sessions, they are recorded and we will be putting them up on our professional development website, banzai.org/teacher professional development, probably sometime next week so that you can watch and rewatch any of your favorites. And it is my pleasure to introduce our speakers for today's closing keynote with you. We've got Casey Smith, Director of Design at Banzai, and Rick Curtis, Curriculum Writer. Let me tell you just a little bit about them. Casey Smith serves as a Product Design Manager and the lead designer for Banzai Direct product. His extensive contributions include work on rewards and the financial wellness assessment, as well as directing Banzai's rebranding initiative from 2023 to 2024. Smith has been with Banzai for 3 years and 10 years total in product design with the domains of data and analytics and real estate management. Prior to his tenure in the technology sector, Casey worked as an art educator at both the secondary and collegiate levels, and he remains an active artist and curator. His professional art has been written about in the Washington Post, Boston Tribune, San Francisco Chronicle, Wired.com, Salon.com. Oh boy, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, El País, and Metal Magazine. He holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Painting from Brigham Young University and a Master of Fine Art in Painting from the San Francisco Art Institute. And fun fact about Casey, in 2006, while he was working the front desk at a hotel in Emeryville, California, he made illustrations that were used for that year's St. Nick's porcelain dish collection for Williams-Sonoma, and he says, be on the lookout for them at your local thrift store. And then when it comes to Ricky Curtis is a curriculum writer and game designer at Banzai. Since 2022, he's been developing innovative and engaging ways to teach students the value of a dollar. Rick also leads the teacher advisory board here at Banzai, which is a select group of teachers from across the United States who provide really valuable feedback on Banzai's latest products and ensure that the company stays aligned with the evolving needs and challenges of today's educators. Committed to innovation, Rick aims to expand the potential of games that are both entertaining and educational for students of all grade levels and background. So you've really got the dynamic duo with you today for our closing keynote. Casey and Rick, please take it away.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie, so much for the introduction. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all the teachers out there. I have a special needs daughter with an extensive IEP. So I love you guys and I love what you do. And thank you so much for everything you do. Anyways, I'm Casey. I'd like to kick things off with making personal finance very personal, which has been one of the themes of today. I heard it talked about earlier in the day. I'm going to tell you a story using some real numbers and a real situation I got myself into that made me passionate for personal finance. Borrowing from Dr. Lucky Do this morning, I'm going to share my money secret. I'm going to display my shame on full display for everybody here. I think it's important when you're talking about money and teaching about money that you're transparent. So, personal finance was not, believe it or not, my first passion. My first passion was art and art education, following in the footsteps of my mother, who was also an art educator, and my father was also an educator as well. So art and art teaching, those were my passions. And as you can see from the photo here, this is one of my classes back in 2010. This is AP Studio art class, and I was really proud of building this program up. Um, so yeah, in 2010, I was teaching in Palo Alto, California. I was newly married. I lived with my wife, who was also a high school art teacher. But she was teaching in the public schools. I was in private schools. We lived in a 900 square foot apartment in San Jose. And I think we did pretty well because we were cheap. We ate out cheap and
Hmm.
not very often. We lived very lean. We drove used cars. We were kind of doing all the things that you're supposed to do when you don't have much money. Each of us making a little over 50K a year. She was making a little bit more because she was in public schools, private schools pay a little bit less. Um, but we felt comfortable. And those were California dollars.
Which don't go very far.
They don't go very far.
Mhm.
And they didn't go very far. But that year, my father, who was 67, had just retired. He had worked for nearly 40 years creating a successful business that helped human resource departments find and develop management talent.
Mm.
Exciting, huh?
Mm.
Yeah, very boring. And I didn't honestly know what he was doing for all of my childhood. It took me until I was in my 20s to really understand what he was doing. But sometimes the boring things actually make the money. We flew out to Michigan for his retirement party. It was a beautiful summer day in the backyard of one of his friends' homes, and it backed right up to this little Michigan lake. Not Lake Michigan, a little
The other lake
Michigan.
in Michigan.
Yes, the other lake. There's one other one. He was very excited for retirement. He had big plans to travel anywhere in the world where there was good fly fishing, catch and release, of course. 6 months after that party, he passed away. Okay, kind of sad,
Yeah.
but also not terribly sad. He had lived a pretty great life. 67, that's a pretty good age. Pretty ripe, I would say. The upside to the situation, which I hadn't considered before up till that point, because I was living my life and deep into my passions, was that I was going to inherit a portion of his wealth. He'd been depositing money in his 401k religiously for almost 40 years. He was great at saving for retirement, always very safe,
Yeah.
frugal with his money. Um, But, this is 2010. If you know your stock market history, the Great Recession had just happened. It started in 2008. We were still in the throes of it in 2010. We
Hmm.
were still very much feeling it. And his retirement got cut 40%. So stock
Nice.
market dropped 40%. His 401k, big cut out of that. But I was left with still a really nice chunk of cash, and it was $150,000. It's not too bad. We felt incredibly lucky to have this money. We were art teachers. My wife was pregnant with our first child. There's a lot of ways that we could think of to spend that money. A new car, trips. I had never been to Italy, still haven't been to Italy. Still, maybe next year
No.
for 50th birthday, maybe. Upgrading our apartment. Our apartment was small and it was always hot. No matter how hard the air conditioning was running, it was hot. We both had a tremendous amount of student loan. We've both gone to art school and gotten art degrees. We both had very little savings and close to nothing in our retirement accounts. So we basically had a devil on one side saying, spend this money, have fun, you only live once. And then on the other side, we've got that angel saying, you didn't earn this money. This isn't your money. You've got to be safe. You've got to be good stewards. So we listened more to this other side. It wasn't just because we were good people, but it was also the anxiety of the time. So we desperately wanted to be responsible with this. We didn't want to squander the opportunity. We felt that it wasn't our money that we had earned. So we were going to be the best stewards we could possibly be and play it safe. Especially still feeling the repercussions of the recession we were still living through. America as a whole at that time was in a deep state of financial anxiety. And as everybody knows on this call, the way you feel about that money translates into the decisions you make about that money. So I thought I was playing it safe. I talked to a cousin who was a financial planner, and he sold me a financial product. I put 100% of this $150,000 into a 2% capped interest rate annuity.
Mm,
Know what that is?
I sure do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would know. He designed our stock market game, so he actually would know. But a lot of people wouldn't know. I didn't know exactly what I was buying. I just knew it was safe. It guaranteed that I would never lose any of the money. If the stock market crashed again, I wouldn't lose a penny. But on the flip side, if the stock market did well, I could only earn up to 2%.
Mhm. Essentially, someone's taking the risk for you.
Yes, yes. So does anybody know what happened to the S&P 500 between 2010 and 2025?
It did pretty good during that time.
Pretty good as an understatement.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the next slide here. And luckily, we did the math for you, so you don't have to do this math in your head. And Banzai is really good at this. We are good at this. We're good at creating calculators and simulations. So you can play around and see what can happen to your money over time. But anyways, this figure here is showing the red dotted line across the bottom is how my annuity grew. Essentially, it
It
was
didn't.
dead.
Oh, yeah.
It was dead. It did not
Yeah.
grow. It flatlined. Now, because it was an inherited IRA, I had to take out minimum distribution payments every year. And that was about $3,000. What I was supposed to do with that money is
Reinvest it.
reinvest it.
Yeah.
But I was an art teacher. So what do you think I did with the $3,000?
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Yes. New brakes,
Groceries.
registration, groceries, bills, debts, had all of that. So no, I did not reinvest it. So this annuity flatlined. That blue line, if you look at that up top there, if I had invested it in an S&P 500 index fund, kind of an industry standard, that $150,000 would be just over $1 million today. And actually, after this week, it'd probably be around 1,050,000 because
Yeah.
it was a good week for the stock market. I don't know why, but it was.
Yeah.
These are mysteries to me. So basically, I missed out on about $870,000, and that hurts. But don't feel too sorry for me. I still had this safety net. I had this pillow,
Yeah.
there was a safety net under us. But that pillow could have been
A much bigger pillow.
a much bigger pillow, a much more comfortable, a full
Yeah.
body pillow,
Weighted.
all the weighted
It has air conditioning built into the
air
pillow.
conditioning, the best materials. It could have been that. Um, yeah. So personal finance is very personal, but it can end up having massive implications for you and those around you that you love.
One thing that sticks out about your story to me is that you were trying to be responsible. You
Right?
were trying to make the right moves. You were looking at and thinking about that money and thinking about history, especially the recent history, but you still probably didn't invest in a way that was the most sound advice for investment.
No, was not great. Was not great. And yes, but I was playing it safe, but I was weighing too heavily the recent history.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, And the options for today's consumers when they're trying to invest are plentiful,
Mhm.
innumerable. We are marketed so many products. Some of those products are safe, transparent, and will almost certainly have a good return on your investment. Other products can be opaque, have no federal oversight. They're designed for maximizing the seller's profit margin, or aren't the right thing for you in that phase of your life.
Mhm.
And me being 30 and having this money,
Probably played it a little too safe.
I played it way, way too safe. I should have, and I really should have taken a little bit more risk with that.
Instead of wearing your seatbelt, you just didn't drive the car at all.
Exactly, exactly. So if I had known more about 401ks, Roth IRAs, the history of the stock market, or had played, let's say, the retirement coach in the wellness center, I don't think I would have made that life-changing mistake,
Mhm.
and played it that so safe. Now, the nice thing is, if you do make mistakes, you can write that ship, but you have to gain that knowledge. And when you have the knowledge, you can pass it on to your family, your students, your loved ones. So again, put that mask on your
Mhm.
face first, get that knowledge, go into the wellness center. And I'm going to pass it off to Rick.
All
Rick's
right.
going to show you around some of these wonderful educational materials we have for you adults.
Yeah, exactly, Casey. So not only does Banzai provide financial literacy and life literacy education for students, we provide general financial literacy and life literacy for adults and everything else in between. You've mentioned something a lot as you've been talking about it is our wellness center. This other side of Banzai that maybe you are or are not familiar with it as a teacher. So the Wellness Center is kind of just our open access, essentially, list of resources and collections of resources that cover a whole gamut of financial literacy options, concepts, ideas. There's a lot that goes into financial literacy. It is hard to keep everything up in your brain, keep up with current topics, or know exactly what the right choice is. Because often financial decisions happen because you have to react to a moment. What do I do if a spouse passes away? What do I do if I inherit some money? Those things don't happen all the time, so they're not necessarily
What if there's new legislation?
exactly.
The laws change.
Mhm. When I took out my student loans, these are the rules. Now that I'm paying back my student loans, these are the
They're
rules.
different.
That stuff happens all the time. And we at Bonsai try to keep on top of the newest trends and also just provide resources on all the basic and some of the not so basic financial questions that you might have. So to get to the Wellness Center, if you're logged in as a teacher on your computer, you go to bonsai.org/wellness. If you just go to bonsai.org, that'll take you to your teacher account. You need to add the /wellness after bonsai.org, and you'll see a page much like this. And I'm going to go over the three things really we have in the Wellness Center. The first is articles. We have over 50 articles running the whole gamut of financial literacy that could answer all kinds of questions. The two you see right now are home buying, mortgage application, and those are on our life changes topics. We have lots of topics, lots of articles. These are all generally pretty quick, pretty digestible, and easy to find answers to, or at least point you in the right direction to help answer your question.
And we update them.
We update them, yeah, all the time. And yeah, so if there's new legislation or something, we'll quickly write an article addressing that so you can be up to date on the most current financial literacy trends and ideas. So that's the first place I would go to get like a quick answer to something or if just any kind of financial questions you might have. The next thing we have is calculators. So oftentimes, I mean, finances is all about numbers and crunching numbers and putting numbers into our system. Bonsai has a myriad of calculators that can cover things like loans, applications, auto loan, affordability. Those are the two that are right there, and the two off the top of my head, so I will not be mentioning anymore. That being said, these calculators can be really helpful just to give you an approximation, an idea generally.
Retirement,
A retirement
401k.
calculator, that calculator is an important one. So these are just quick, easy to access calculators that you can use to run the numbers and get an idea of where to go next based on your current financial situation. And sometimes they're just fun to play with. Here's an example of our mortgage calculator. As you can see, it's not too complicated, but it gives you a good sense of the numbers you're going to be looking towards. Everything is adjustable and it'll all be updated in real time. The last thing, the major part of our wellness center is our coaches. Coaches are more, think of them as bigger, more interactive calculators that not only just crunch a set of numbers, but ask questions about your current situation to give you an idea of where you stand on any one of these topics. I think we have upwards of 40 coaches, don't quote me on that. But things from as fun as what to do with a new baby to getting out of debt, the less fun one of those two. But both
Yeah.
very important. Our coaches play similar to our games in our school product. You'll go through, be asked questions. They're beautifully illustrated, and it'll teach you all the basics you need to know to address the certain topic personalized by using your information that you give them. So everyone's coach results is going to be different because it's based on reality. These aren't simulations that you're playing through to learn the concepts. These are kind of guides that take you through your situation to give you the best information that is possible. So those are, again, our three big resources. Now we're talking about personal finance. So let's get into some personal questions. This is the interactive portion of this presentation. So what's a personal finance question you've been pondering? Ask it in the chat and let's tackle it live here in the Wellness Center. We've never done this before. We're just going to see how easy or maybe difficult it's going to be. Also, if you just want to make up a question because it's getting too uncomfortable because no one is responding in the silence, that is fine too. So, chat. How do I find my chat? Zoom chat. Zoom. Nope. Zoom chat. Moderators, is anybody asking a question in the chat?
Nope, no questions. And if you point to the green share button, I think that the chat will appear.
If you point to the green share button. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Awesome.
If we don't get any questions, I think one that would be fun to go through, Richard, is
Yes.
how can I make room in my budget right now? I'm
That
feeling
is
like I'm week to week. What do I do? Paycheck to
That is a
paycheck.
great question. Let's hop into the Wellness Center and, well, let's look at this first section that comes right up, learning to budget. So this learning to budget is going to give you a whole list of different articles and couches and coaches and calculators that you can use to budget. So that broad question can actually get us to some specific things. Oh, maybe it's my food budget that I need to reduce. I haven't thought of that. I'll just click on 8 tips to reduce my food bill and take a look at this. So it gives us some great things from limit eating out, plan grocery store shopping, reduce your food waste. And it even has the budget calculator built into the article. So I can actually just start playing around with this and get an idea of where my budget stands. And I'll possibly see places that, oh, I haven't considered, or I wasn't including entertainment in my budget. Maybe that's where I'm struggling to make my budget work.
Got to cancel HBO.
Gotta cancel HBO.
Sorry.
But you know what? It is worth it to get your budget back on track. Thank you, Nicole, for that great question. And as you can see, it's easy to use the Wellness Center to just help get those quick personal questions. The next thing I'm going to go over, though, is kind of a top to bottom look at your finances. It's something we like to call the financial wellness assessment.
Ooh.
It has a beautiful gradient background, which I think is so soothing and nice in dealing with such kind of a stressful topic sometimes. But the financial wellness assessment is kind of an all-in-one coach that covers kind of the gamut of financial needs that you have. It takes about 12 minutes to do. I should know. I ran through this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. The kind of questions it's going to ask is just things like your debt. Let's just put your debt in and see where you stand there. So you can put your mortgage, your credit cards, your auto loans, your student loans, your medical debt, all in one page. It'll collect that, take a look at it, but it'll also say, how comfortable are you with caution, with not, how comfortable are you with different topics? Like, so this one is asking about how safe do you feel from identity theft in your real life? And you can just answer honestly. Again, there's no really right or wrong answers. This is just an assessment. In fact, being as honest as you can with this will get you the best results. And then it'll also kind of be like personal questions, since, for instance, my finances have a large negative impact on my day-to-day mental and emotional health. Is that always, do you always feel like that? Or do you never feel like that? Um,
Yeah, and just kind of like going back to when I was making some big decisions, a lot of
mhm.
it was based on this.
Yeah.
My mental and emotional health at the time pushed me in a certain direction to be too safe with my money.
Yeah.
So this is really helpful for a person to recognize this, like, oh, I do have strong feelings about this. It affects everything.
Yep. And after you finish with the financial assessment, again, it takes about 12 minutes. You are then giving a score. For this particular test, I got a 57. So that means I'm in established category. I know as teachers, we think 57, that's an F. But it's not based
Not
on,
an
it's
F,
not
it's
an
still
F. It's
green.
still green. It's green. Go by colors, not by the general use letter system in grading. Yeah, 57 is fine. And again, it's not so much what the number means, it just gives you a place to start from, a place to look at, and a place to reflect. So that is my overall score. In insurance, I got a 96. I did
Whoa,
so good in insurance. Not that it's a competition, but sometimes I make it a competition for myself.
you still need
I
life,
still need life insurance. You are
but then
right.
you would have 100.
I have 100. Yep. Now, my retirement, uh-oh, I haven't putting any money into my
Ay,
retirement
ay,
account.
ay, ay. That's
Zero.
bad.
That's not based on reality. That's just for it.
You got to get started.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, retirement's pretty critical. You're in a critical position with that. So it'll give you all this information, but that is just the first step. The real power of the financial wellness assessment is the financial wellness assessment app dashboard.
Yeah.
So this not only aggregates all of the information that you put and gives you all your scores in the different categories here on the left side, including your top score or your final score right here, but it also talks about the different places that you're at in each category. It has offers that can help you establish yourself more financially and help raise your score. Trainings on the side that are offered by your sponsors in different areas. And but the big thing is you have various goals in each category. So the goals are weighted based on the needs of how important they are and foundational they are to
Yeah.
your financial health. So for instance, I put on this one, I don't have an emergency fund. So the
Ooh.
very first thing it has here is build that emergency fund. It gives you a quick goal and then some resources that you have in order to reach that goal. And you can click the button, click that little square when you're done, and you finished it. This isn't, it's based on the honor system. This is for you to use. So you don't have to like give proof that you've read something or show a bank account or anything. Just click a button when you feel like you've established a goal. Or if you feel like that goal's not for you, that you're already hitting it, click that button. That is perfectly fine. So as you can see, I've got a lot of goals I need to do for my retirement account because I did not
You
do
get
right
zero.
there. I got
You
zero.
got
I
nothing.
got nothing.
Nilch.
I think I knew a little bit about a 401k, and so it gave me a few little points for that. But yeah,
Yeah.
not a ton
A
there.
little bit of knowledge, no practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my insurance, I just have the one goal, just get that life insurance. If that 96 is going to change into a beautiful 100.
100.
Oh, and there is no better feeling than making an arbitrary number go up. I've played enough video games to know that is a universal truth.
It feels so
It
good.
feels
And
so good.
maybe badges will will come later.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you can add little rewards or cosmetics for your
Yes,
avatar, I think that would be
that would be
great.
cool.
And so as you use the financial wellness assessment, your number can just go up and up and up until you almost reach that delicious 100% completion of all your financial goals. And look what happened when I reached all my financial goals. I went from a retirement account of zero
Two.
to I'm going to make $37,899.9 million
Holy
when
moly.
I retire.
Those are video game numbers.
Yeah. Did I accidentally put too many numbers, too many zeros at the end of my contributions I was making every month? Only one way to find out, go and play the financial wellness assessment.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's an overview of both Wellness Center and the financial wellness assessment found in the Wellness Center, which I think are two powerful products that you can use to put your mask on first, which is the theme of this whole thing we've been talking
Yeah.
about, Casey.
Yeah.
Now, don't be a Casey.
No, don't be a Casey. And also that full financial wellness assessment, I don't think it's out there quite yet,
Oh, yeah.
but I've heard that by September it will be out there
All
for
right.
everybody to use. We have the simpler version of the financial wellness assessment, which is still great, but the full version won't be out until September.
Okay.
So just
So
a
keep it. So
caveat.
this was a preview.
This is
It's a preview. You guys are sort of
yeah.
the special group. We're saving the best for last to show you a
Mhm.
preview of a powerful tool you're going to have this September. All right. Well, that's our presentation for today. We don't have a clock in here, so it could be midnight. It could be 3:05. I have no clue.
Yeah.
You
But
are right on time, Rick.
perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to turn the time to you, Natalie.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Do you want to advance the slide for me, Rick? Just wanted to follow up with our last reminder here. If you've joined two or more seminars today, webinar sessions, I hope you have, because this was your last chance. You'll be entered to win one of our Jumpstart National Educator Conference scholarships. It's worth $2,000. If you are the winner of that, we will email you and we'll announce it on social media and all those good things. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. I think I want have one more slide I wanted to show them. One more after this. Okay, we actually wanted to share with you this Back to School Bootcamp is an annual event that we do. It's all day long, but we do have solo webinars throughout the year, usually a few every month. And the next one that's coming up is on August 26th, and it's going to be on teaching entrepreneurship through real events. And we'll have our own Mallory Bigler, who is education team lead, joined by Dana Delaney, who's the brand manager for Anderson's Promise. And they're going to be going through some really cool tools that we've developed together with Promise that help teach entrepreneurship through planning prom, but can be also used in other events through your school. So if you want to pass that along to your prom committee chair or any other event that's run by students on your campus, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for everyone for your time. If you want to walk through and you missed Jenica's teacher demo at 2:15, go ahead and scan this QR code to set up a one-on-one demo with someone from our teacher support team. We are here to help you. Send us any ideas, feedback, anything you have. We love to help teachers. Thank you so much.